back to Fenway Park and welcome to the beginning of our telecast from Fenway for this Game 6 of the American League Championship Series. From outside on Yawkey Way to this matchup of the Indians and Red Sox. Cleveland up 3-2.
At the wildness of Fausto Carmona, and the first thing the pitching coach for the Indians told him today is to use the middle of the plate tonight.
But on the other side, there's been a lineup change for the Boston Red Sox. A huge ovation when they announced that Jacoby Ellsbury would be in the lineup tonight for Terry Francona. And on top of that, they turned to the right-hander, Curt Schilling. And Kurt's got to be that guy that gives Beckett some help, right?
Yeah, we have talked about Kevin Youkilis, David Ortiz, Manny Ramirez, and Mike Lowell needing help offensively. Well, Josh Beckett needs help from a pitching standpoint. The Red Sox have won 2 games, and Beckett's won both of them.
Well, we take a look at this right-hander, and you know his postseason resume. The last time he was working a Game 6 for Boston at Yankee Stadium, the Bloody Sock, and when he has pitched in a game with his team facing elimination 3-0 with a 1.11 ERA. Big game pitcher. It's a big game, and it's yours. Next on Fox.
Hey, I'm Paul Bird of the Cleveland Indians. Tonight we got a great lineup for you. We're starting off with Grady Sizemore, one of the best young players in the game. He makes our team go. Number 2 is Asdrubal Cabrera. He just came up 2 months ago. He's played like he's got 10 years in the big leagues. Number 3, Travis Hafner. He's our own personal wrestler. He does a chest slap like no other. Number 4, we got Victor Martinez. Great, one of the best hitting catchers in the game. He is phenomenal. Number 5, we got Ryan Garco, one of my favorites, the Fred Flintstone lookalike. Number 6, Johnny Peralta. Plays good defense and has really hit the ball well this year. Had a big game off Schilling last time. Number 7, we got Kenny Lofton, the oldest guy on our team. He's the grandpa. He makes sure everybody stays in line. Number 8 is Trot Nixon. The prodigal son returns. And number 9, I'm finishing you off with Casey Blake, who has one of the best beards in the American League. Thanks. Tonight, pitching, we got Fausto Carmona. Great sinker, great power, and fun to be around.
Send everybody else home. The auditions are over. Right. He gets the job.
Right.
One of the most likable guys in the big leagues, Paul Bird, who was the starter and winner in Game 4. As you look at the numbers for Curt Schilling this postseason, we'll give you his scouting report, and he was not sharp in the Game 2 start against the Indians.
But he was in the Game 3 start against the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. That's when he found his splitter early in the game, about the 2nd, 3rd inning. He walks almost no one, only 23 walks during the season. And is this his last elimination game? He hopes not.
Ripped down the right field line into the corner. It is a foul ball. Home run distance, but pulled a little foul by Grady Sizemore, who homered off Curt Schilling in Game 2, and we're going to get an argument from Eric Wedge. And I'm sure from his vantage point, which is a little skewed, not really right down the line, he certainly does not have as good a look at it as the right field umpire Gary Cederstrom, who made the call. He's saying the ball went maybe over the foul pole. Let's take another look.
I think it did. I think the guy who had the best view of it was Grady Sizemore. And Sizemore, coming back to home plate, he did not argue. He's going down the first base line, and he has the same view that right field umpire Gary Cederstrom had. So Eric Wedge out to argue, but I thought that ball was foul. But you're right, Joe. It did go over the screen, over this part of the screen, and cleared that, but it was very close.
I say the vantage point of Eric Wedge is skewed. They're way down the third base line, almost even with a third base bag. And from that angle, a little more down the line, it looked to be foul.
Right.
Here's a 1-2 now to Grady Sizemore. 2-2.
Now he comes back with it.
Lugo to his left. It hit the mound. 1 away. It was won by Cleveland. 0-1 pitch. Pedroia. 2 out. For Curt Schilling in his postseason career at home, he's made 9 starts wherever that home has been. Whether it's been here with Boston or it's been with Philadelphia or certainly Arizona. 5-0 and an ERA just over 1.5.
Hi, I'm Julio Lugo, and I'm going to give you today's starting lineup. Hitting first, playing second base, Dustin Pedroia. Hitting second, Kevin Youkilis, first base. Hitting third, Davey Ortiz, DH. Hitting fourth, left fielder Manny Ramirez. Hitting fifth, Mike Lowe, playing third base. Hitting sixth, J.D. Drew, right field. Hitting seventh, Jason Barrett, catching. Hitting 8, Jacoby Ellsbury, center field. Shortstop, Julio Lugo. Pitching, Curt Schilling. Adios, amigos.
Adios, Julio. Thank you, Julio Lugo, for the starting lineup tonight for Boston. And here is the right-hander, Fausto Carmona. Dominant in Game 2 of the division series against the Yankees, and in 4+ walked 5 against the Red Sox in Game 2 ALCS. Up the middle to his right, Cabrera with a bare hand, but still not in time. Wow, what a play, but it's an infield hit for Dustin Pedroia.
Remarkable play by Cabrera, who barehands the ball around his right knee and throws late to first base. So Carmona made a tough pitch on Pedroia. Cabrera made a great play, but Dustin has an infield hit.
Left side in the hole. Peralta to second. Safe. Danley was about to call Pedroia out until Asdrubal Cabrera could not hang on to that throw.
Funny, Cabrera made the catch with his bare hand and dropped it on the next play with his glove hand. I think it was safe anyway.
I did too, but yeah, when you watch Kerwin Danley, he's got his arm up like he's about to give it the "you're out," and then when the ball trickled away, the safe call, and it's 2 on with nobody out. We talked about what Schilling has done in elimination games. How about what Big Papi has done? Last 8 postseason elimination games, he's hit .343, 5 home runs, and 16 RBIs.
The scouting report on Fausto Carmona: throw the ball in the middle of the plate. As you can see, he has not done that. He's very tough to lift. 2 ground balls in this inning, but both were base hits. His double play's a weapon, and he needs that weapon now.
Gehrig with the most with 23. Strikeout for Fausto Carmona. 1 away, bases loaded for Lowell. Double play ball gets the Indians out of trouble. Lowell, little fly ball into right field. Nixon coming off. Tagging and coming halfway is Pedroia, 2 out. And now this inning falls right into the lap of a guy who has not driven in a run in this series, J.D. Drew.
Interesting, you were talking about 21 pitches and no outs in this inning. On the 22nd pitch, he got his first out. On the 23rd pitch, he got his second out. No runs have scored.
So now J.D. Drew. at the end of his first season with Boston. Signed a 5-year deal. Finished the regular season hot, but knocked in only 64 runs and hit 11 home runs. Center, well hit. Back is Sizemore. Grand slam through.
The 2-1 pitch was outside. The 3-1 pitch was right down the pipe. J.D. Drew with a grand slam home run.
And with one swing, he erased an entire season filled with frustration, both for him and these fans here at Fenway.
J.D. saving his biggest cheer for the postseason.
Third grand slam in Boston Red Sox postseason history. And Drew can exhale down there in the dugout as he knocks in his first runs of this ALCS. It's a pitching coach with his arms crossed, Carl Willis of the Indians, frustrated with what he's seeing here in the first from Fausto Carmona as he issues his second walk.
Carl Willis telling us before the game, about 4 hours before the game, that the first thing that he was going to tell Carmona today was use the middle of the plate.
Ellsbury of Navajo descent. An electrifying player, and this one is back to Carmona, and the inning is over. But not before J.D. Drew presents his biggest swing of the season. And in Game 6, with Boston facing elimination, he puts the Red Sox up 4-0. Fausto Carmona now in the dugout thinking about a 36-pitch first inning. There's a pitch that was low to Ellsbury. They wanted that call in the dugout for the Indians. Victor Martinez, who's at the plate now, had some words with the home plate umpire DeMuth on his way back to the dugout. Eric Wedge had to come out and intervene, and then Wedge and DeMuth got into it. But now trailing 4-0, and here's Martinez coming back to talk to DeMuth about either that pitch or others in the first inning, and Eric Wedge had to stand up for his players.
Hey, I did not see that many close pitches thrown by Fausto Carmona.
2-0 to Martinez is hit down the right field line. This ball, if it's fair, it's gone. It is gone. 4-1. Home run Victor Martinez, and just like that, the Cleveland catcher has made it a 3-run game. And Martinez is taking his time around the bases.
Victor Martinez with 3 hits against Curt Schilling in Game 2, 3 for 3, and now a home run to try to bring the Indians back.
A .636 career average against Curt Schilling. And this leading off the second. It's 4-1.
It was Curt Schilling's time to fall behind. Martinez looking for a ball to jerk. Goodness. But Schilling and Varitek trying to bring that splitter along in the early innings. Another split.
And the second strikeout for Curt Schilling.
Well, really diving down, and when Schilling has a good one, the hitters have a tendency to swing over it. As you can see, the split fingers toppling down to get Garco. 2 3-run home runs here in the League Championship Series. Makes all the plays at shortstop.
With 1 out, nobody on. That's Lowell with a backhand, a true hop. Low throw, but out as Euclid digs it out. Let's go down to Chris Myers. Chris.
Joe, we always hear about bulletin board material. The Red Sox, as if they needed it, on the back part of their locker room door, there was a quote written, and it was attributed to Ryan Garco of the Indians, but just this portion was not his. He said this Indians team is better than the Red Sox and will prove it once and for all in cramped Fenway Park. Sure, a home field celebration would have been nice, but silencing Red Sox Nation in its house will be just as sweet. Those were comments by a writer. This is all that Garco said. The champagne tastes just as good on the road as it does at home. But in the Red Sox clubhouse, in every locker room and on the back of their door, they have the entire quote attributed to Garco. I asked one of the Red Sox players about it. He said, well, whether he said all that or not all the players know that. And I don't know if it'll help our cause, but when our guys see it, it won't hurt it either.
All right, Chris, thank you. Shallow left. Manny Ramirez. Inning over, but the Indians are on the board as Victor Martinez hits a tape measure shot to right. It's 4-1 Red Sox after an inning and a half in Game 6. Carmona's 1-2 to Lugo. He gets his second strikeout. And Julio Lugo's troubles continue now. 3 out of 19 in this ALCS. With 1 out, nobody on. Pedroia lines one into left field. Lofton back. Elite can't get it. At least 2. A 1-out double.
Ball did not have a lot of hang time, and as a result, Lofton wasn't able to get back and make the jump. Had he been stationary instead of going back toward it, perhaps he makes the play. Being an ex-basketball player.
And Julian Tavares, who's not active on the roster, is active in the dugout, cheering Pedroia into second with a double, and Dustin Pedroia has come alive, as has Euclid. If you haven't looked at the numbers, look at that average. 450 in the ALCS. Has a hit tonight, a run scored. He came in hitting 355 this postseason, so that dispels the notion that it's just 2 guys carrying this offense. It has been 2 guys that have been driving in the runs, and now Victor Martinez goes out to talk. You have to love Pedroia, who had this to say. He said, you know, after 500 at bats, I hit over 300 in my first big league season. 12 or 13 at bats at the beginning of this postseason aren't going to tell me that I stink. And so he has stayed with it, and he has gotten hot, and that is very important with Euclid, Ortiz, Ramirez, and Lowell hitting behind him.
And he followed that up by saying, I don't care what anybody thinks or says or writes. Doesn't matter.
1 ball, 1 strike on Euclid.
Since that comment, he's been 4 for 6. Been on base 5 times.
He's really listed at 5'9", 180, but he said, for me, a guy who's 5'2", 115, it's not bad. Strike 2 on Euclid. It's Euclid now. It's Ortiz on deck as the Red Sox try to get that run back. Left side, Pedroia is going to make it to third, and another infield hit for Euclid.
That ball hit the lip of the grass. Even had it not hit the lip, I do not think that Peralta makes the play, but it was an excellent base running play by Dustin Pedroia. Busting it from the get-go from second base, realizing the speed of the ball. Hits the lip, stays down. Pedroia goes to third. Another infield hit for Euclid. Excellent base running by Pedroia. The jump he had from second was terrific. Overslides third base. Had Peralta made the play, maybe they get the oversliding Pedroia. Who knows?
First and third now for Ortiz. One out. See if he is as passive in this at bat. Nope. Right up the middle and right to Peralta, who was on the other side of the bag, and that's the 11th double play. That sets a record for a postseason series. It's turned by the Indians. It was hard hit, but the 6-3 double play keeps it 4-1 after 2. Line drive is a base hit into right. Just out of the reach of Dustin Pedroia. That's what Schilling's good Game 3 start against the Angels factored in. Line drives a base hit into left. That pitch was up. And the first 2 are on for the Indians here in the third inning.
Trot Nixon hit a high cutter, and now it's Casey Blake's turn. He actually goes out of the strike zone to hit this ball. This ball is about 3 inches off the plate.
Morrow 2-0 pitch. Sizemore rips it into right field. Didn't hit it hard, and Drew is there. That's a big out for Schilling. 2 on, 1 out.
How long do we go with Curt Schilling?
Cabrera into right. Drew drifts back. 2 out. Tagging and going to third is Nixon. But 2 big outs after the first 2 reached. Tonight's AT&T trivia question: which Cincinnati pitcher gave up Carlton Fisk's game-winning home run in Game 6 of the 1975 World Series? Schilling's 1-2. Euclid backs up, steps on, and a chance missed for Cleveland. 2 on, nobody out. Indians do nothing with it. 2.5 in the books. 4-1 Boston. Lowell will follow, then Drew. Carmona. Ball 4 inside. A borderline pitch. Carmona doesn't get the call, and that's walk number 3. The AT&T trivia question was, which Reds pitcher gave up Carlton Fisk's game-winning home run in Game 6 of the 75 series? The answer: Pat Darcy. And the voice of Dick Stockton, our colleague at Fox. They've already had Mastny getting loose in the early innings tonight. That's high. Back-to-back walks and 4 on the night. And the best ovation of the season for J.D. Drew. Carl Willis, the pitching coach for the Indians, will come out and talk with Drew getting set to go. 2 on, nobody out.
There's anything to that fatigue factor. I mean, he's wild, but he's still throwing.
Drew with another base hit. Here comes Ramirez. No throw home by Sizemore. It's 5-1. RBIs for J.D. Drew.
The home run hit back through the middle and into center field, and now the line drive right past the glove of Fausto Carmona, and that is going to be it.
So Carmona cannot get through the third. Still nobody out for Boston, up by 4.
Kobe Ellsbury in the game now.
Varitek into center field. Lowell will tag at second and make it over to third. 1 out in the inning. So a productive out for Varitek. And with Rafael Perez, we give you the Zantac relief pitcher profile. Third appearance for Perez in this series, and the bullpen has been very good throughout the postseason. And it's been Perez, certainly was against the Yankees. Betancourt has been unhittable, only 1 hit this postseason. Ellsbury loops a base hit into left, and the rookie delivers and makes it 6-1.
Ellsbury jammed and just hits it over Johnny Peralta's head. So left-handed batters have driven in every Boston run tonight. A fastball on the inside part, looped to left, and Ellsbury has his first LCS hit. That has to happen here in the League Championship Series. You don't have weeks, you have days and hours.
That's a fair ball down into the corner. Drew will score. Ellsbury picking him up, laying him down, scores from first. It's 8-1.
Fastball down and in, just inside the bag at third base. Drew scoring easily, and Ellsbury flying around the bases. See Casey Blake standing on the bag and just moving off the bag at the last minute. And Ellsbury is fun to watch run.
It's fun to watch hit. He's fun to watch play the outfield.
Yep.
I have a feeling that if there is a Game 7, he might find his name on that lineup card again. Pedroia is the 7th man to bat in this inning. Lugo at second, 1 out. 4 runs are in, and a 7-run lead. Another walk. 3rd of the inning. And 5th of the night.
Remember before Game 5 we said it could change like that and snapped our fingers, and certainly it has changed with a snap of the fingers for the Red Sox. Winning Game 5 and ahead by 7.
Euclid hits one into left. This one is off the wall. Lugo scores. Throw into second is in time to hold Euclid up, and the throw hits Euclid, trickles away, into scores Pedroia. 10-1.
I think Cabrera is arguing with second base umpire Kerwin Danley at Euclid intentionally put his head in front of the throw to first base. Didn't appear that way to me. As 1 run scores, Pedroia is on at third, and you could see it looked like Euclid was trying to get out of the way of the ball. An RBI single for Euclid. Scoring Lugo. He went too far at first, and then the Indians botched the rundown up.
really no place for Euclid to go. He's right in the baseline. Ducked his head down a bit. And Perez is knocked out. He picks up only 1 out here in the 3rd inning. And Aaron Laffey takes over. And Aaron Laffey makes his first postseason appearance after a 4-2 regular season, an ERA of 4.5.
Yeah, only 22 years old. He won 17 games in 3 classifications, including 4 with Cleveland.
That's a fair ball out at first, and the throw is low to the second baseman, or at least the second base bag. Both Blake and Peralta were there. And I think Garco thought the ball was foul, and he was surprised it was a fair ball. He got the out at first and then threw it right into the ground. They had Euclid by a mile. Look where this ball is.
Yeah, well, they got the call, and Garco throws it right into the ground. It did look like a foul ball. One more time. I think it was a foul ball. But Garco playing the high hop. Steps on the bag to get Ortiz, and of course Euclid has to be tagged out. I tell you, Kevin Euclid is just wearing that area out between first and second.
It was probably worn out.
Yeah, and the pressure off Terry Francona having to make a decision, or John Farrell, the pitching coach, having to make a decision, as the Red Sox have erupted for 6 so far here in the 3rd.
Another walk. 2 in this inning for Manny Ramirez. Down the right field line, slicing toward the corner. Nixon is there, and the inning is finally over. They want me to recap the inning? I have no chance. Just watch it. It's 10-1 after 3. 60 degrees is the temperature as Victor Martinez lines a base hit into left field. He's 2 for 2 tonight against Curt Schilling, and Curt just cannot figure a way to get the Indians catcher out. He had a wild bunch in the clubhouse and dugout that year. They didn't quit on him, and he handled his bullpen brilliantly that postseason. Garco gets under it. In the air to left for Manny Ramirez. 1 on, 1 out. We talked to Terry Francona and talked to him about J.D. Drew and the night that he has had tonight, putting smiles on his teammates' faces.
Yeah, he did. And in the first time, his swing, you know, they made a great pitch to Manny. Got Mikey Law out on the first pitch, and then he hits the ball to dead center. Really, you know, not only gave us 4 runs, but gave us a lot of life.
Those 6 runs in the 3rd inning kind of relieved you from making a decision about Curt Schilling early.
There's going to be a lot of decisions. There's a lot of baseball, but I understand your point. This is a good guy to have on the mound because he throws strikes, and now he needs to go out and get strike 1.
When he's come back to what has he said about his stuff here tonight? I mean, I know he's gotten into and out of trouble a little bit, and it looked for a while there in the top of the 3rd inning like it was getting a little shaky for him.
Yeah, the last thing we want is Victor Martinez to hit with the bases loaded. I don't talk to Schill when he pitches. The more ornery he is, the better we all are.
Who do you talk to down there?
Depends how nervous I get.
Thanks, Terry.
Okay, guys.
Terry Francona, who has the ability to keep it light and keep this thing pointed in the right direction despite dealing with a number of personalities over his years here with the Red Sox. Very good at managing people. And he has some unique individuals to manage, not only now but in the past. Peralta strikes out, and that's strikeout number 3 for Curt Schilling.
Good splitter from Schilling to get Peralta. Terry Francona saying all Curt has to do is go out and throw strike 1. He has thrown strike 1 to 3 straight hitters.
3 when he was a 23-year-old. Shattered bat. Euclid to his right will go to the bag, and a scoreless frame put up by Schilling. He and the Red Sox lead the Indians 10-1. spectators, and that's only part of a big weekend here in Boston. Obviously, the ALCS here tonight, and they hope around here tomorrow night for Game 7. They moved the Boston Bruins game up to not coincide with the action here tonight, and the Bruins defeated the Rangers 1-0 in a shootout. Boston College off this weekend, but the #2 team in the country, South Florida, lost on Thursday. So BC could move up without playing a game to #2. And the undefeated Patriots are at the Dolphins on Sunday. With one out, Veritek pops it up. Trot Nixon is there for the Indians, backs up a few, 2 out. Jacoby Ellsbury is coming up. For more on him, let's go down to Ken Rosenthal.
Joe, when you talk about Jacoby Ellsbury, think Johnny Damon. Howard Baird, the scout who signed Damon and is now with the Red Sox, says that Ellsbury is further along at 23 than Damon was at the same age. He's got a much better arm. He's more fluid in center field, more conventional swing, chance to hit for greater power. Baird isn't saying that Ellsbury will be a better player than Damon. He's merely saying that the potential is there.
A lot of baseball people have compared him to Grady Sizemore. He looks a little like Grady Sizemore.
Here's one into right center field off the bat of Ellsbury, and a diving catch by Grady Sizemore. What a play by Sizemore in right center. Wow. 10-1 after 4. Smoke on the water. Back after this from your local Fox station. Nixon signed a one-year deal, economical deal, coming off back surgery. Had a disc problem and should be getting stronger and better as he goes. Had an okay first year. His 10-year Red Sox career, Trot hit .278 with 133 home runs and had a terrific World Series back in 2004. Hit .357.
Trot from Durham, lives in Charlotte, North Carolina. His father, Dr. William Nixon, was a high school catcher for Catfish Hunter.
Line drive into right, it's a base hit. And Nixon is 2 for 2. Casey Blake coming up.
Joe, you know, Fenway is always a tough ticket, but fans have been lined up since Thursday night out here, some through Friday in a rain pour, and they were surprised when Dustin Pedroia and Mike Lowell showed up handing them a meal. They came from a Mexican restaurant when they got back from Cleveland at the suggestion of Mike Lowell's wife. Let's just bring him some food. So they showed up. The fans were excited. Some 15 to 20 tacos. I asked Pedroia about it before the game. He said, maybe some good karma handing out the food, and he said, we want to support the people who support us.
Timlin is up for the Red Sox. As we showed you in the bullpen, he's not throwing, but Schilling again trying to get around a leadoff hit. Third inning in a row for that. He jams Blake, and Manny Ramirez to his left. 1 on, 1 out. Grady Sizemore is coming up. Hard hit. Pedroia. Lugo double play, and Schilling is through 5. Eligible now to win his 10th career postseason game. Halfway through game number 6. Red Sox trying to force baseball tomorrow night. Lead by 9. And Julio Lugo, who finally broke through with a 2-run double and a run scored back in a 6-run third inning, leads off and checks on Peralta from deep in the hole. Low throw and out. Good play by Garco.
Looked like that was by design by Peralta, playing deep for Lugo. Lugo can run. And then in between hop to Garco. You could almost see Peralta taking a little off of that ball to get it down And the hop, an in-between hop, and a very good play by Ryan Garko.
The 1-2 pitch. Another rocket. What a play. Cabrera to his right. Cannot come away any more impressed with Asdrubal Cabrera. He makes every play.
All you saw from Pedroia is laughter after he got past first base, just laughing, saying you hit it that hard. You got to tip your cap to Asdrubal Cabrera.
Here's Euclid. 2 out, nobody on. Really, for Pedroia, he's had a series filled with that. That's chopped off the plate. Casey Blake with a bare hand grab and throw. How about 3 defensive plays on the infield in the inning? Peralta, Cabrera, and now Casey Blake with a bare hand pickup and toss. 6th inning, 10-1 Boston. It's just him getting big outs and trying to outsmart the opposition, and so far he has done just that. Cabrera, the first out here in the 6th inning on a pop-up. The Verizon Series summary. Josh Beckett, good in 6 innings. Game 1, Game 2. Game-winning RBI knocked in the 11th by Trot Nixon. Franklin Gutierrez, an add-on 3-run shot. Lofton, the 2-run home run in Game 3. Westbrook, outstanding. He would get the ball tomorrow night. Game 4. Big 3-run shot and a 7-run 5th by Johnny Peralta. Then Game 5. Dominating performance from Josh Beckett. Another strikeout for Hafner, and for Schilling, strikeout number 4. A look at the owner's suite here at Fenway Park, and Bud Selig in the middle of it. Tom Werner on the left as we look at that shot, and Senator Dodd on your right.
I think the crowd is sensing that this could be the last inning for Schilling, but no one up in the Red Sox bullpen.
How about the night for Schilling? 5 strikeouts. He gets Victor Martinez, and he is through 6, allowing 1 run on 5 hits and leading by 9. Here is David Ortiz striking out, looking, and that's 1 out in the inning. Meanwhile, as you look at Schilling putting together his reports before, during, and after starts, a lot was made of the mood of Daisuke Matsuzaka after that loss, and with members of the media watching him basically despondently staring into his locker for over a half hour after that game with his t-shirt on, uniform pants still on, and not really answering any questions. And how will his state of mind be when he takes the ball if he gets that chance tomorrow night? Not willing to push him up on short rest to work in Game 4, but may work on 2 days rest. Good play by Blake and Garko on the other end in a potential Game 7. And you look at Beckett in this series, those numbers will change after tonight. A 9 ERA among the other 3 starters coming into tonight, and Schilling is doing his part.
Only 1 base runner against Laffey since entering the game, with 2 out in the 3rd inning.
Lowell shoots one into left. Halfway up the monster, and Mike Lowell will be content with a 2-out single. The strikeout from Laffey. He's been impressive. 2 in the inning, and we go to the 7th inning of game number 6. 10-1. Red Sox on top. Back after this from your local Fox station. Unbelievable. Hideki Okajima is getting loose. I think we're to the point now where Schilling has pitched well. He's done his job, and you know that Terry Francona wants to get some of those guys some work out in the bullpen after an off day yesterday. Okajima did not pitch in Game 5. Try and tune him up in case they need him tomorrow. Fly ball into left center field, and Ellsbury is back. A leap, and he cannot make the catch. Garko will end up at third base with nobody out. Looked like Ellsbury had another step to go out there in the outfield, but did what he could over his head in a leadoff triple.
Well, Terry Francona telling us that you lose some defense with Ellsbury out there. He has a chance to be an outstanding defensive player, base runner, and offensive force. But Coco Crisp, Terry thinks, is a Gold Glove center fielder. Now, whether Crisp could have gotten that ball, I'm not sure. But a good try by Ellsbury. And now Papelbon making some moves in the bullpen. But Okajima would be next in line.
Peralta now with a runner at third, nobody out.
That was the famous Game 6 to which we alluded earlier with Carlton Fisk, the home run off Pat Darcy. But this happened earlier in the game when Fred Lynn slammed into center field, and that padding was not there then.
MVP and Rookie of the Year. 75. Peralta is going to get a run home as J.D. Drew goes back to get it. It's a sac fly. Tagging and scoring is Garko, and it's 10-2.
Here's that play by Fred Lynn. There was no padding in center field. Ken Griffey Sr. taking Fred back to the wall. And Fred injured his lower back. Charlie Moss, the trainer in those days. Darrell Johnson, the manager. And Fred went down, and I mean there was a hush at Fenway Park.
A strike over the outside corner to Kenny Lofton. One out, nobody on. A run home. Lofton hits it hard right at Pedroia. 2 out. Different type pitcher, but the same result from Curt Schilling. He's 1 out away from getting through 7. That'll probably be it for his night, with Okajima getting loose and needing some work. Javier Lopez, another lefty, now joins him. Curt came up with Baltimore in 1988, was with Houston, Philadelphia from 92 to 2000. Was the MVP of the 93 NLCS for the Phillies. In 2000, traded to Arizona. Was the co-MVP of the 2001 World Series. And traded here for the 2004 season, and his contract runs out at the end of this year. And in a thin free agent pitching class, he's made himself some money tonight. Right center field. Drew is there. 7 strong from Curt Schilling. 2 runs, 6 hits. Red Sox up 8. Curt Schilling is still in the dugout, tipping his cap to the crowd as he made his way off the field after the top of this 7th. Made some notes in his notebook, and now Will Watt. Here's a guy who hasn't pitched since the end of the regular season, and he has been nearly perfect.
Yes, so is Curt Schilling.
Absolutely. But this thing could have gotten away from Cleveland to the point where they're just trying to keep it respectable, and Laffey's done that. Varitek 0 for 3 with a walk tonight. Game summary is brought to you by Flomax. Just after 11 o'clock in the East, J.D. Drew with 2 big hits. No bigger swing tonight than the 2-out grand slam in the first. 15 runs scored by Boston in their last 9 innings, and Curt Schilling 7 innings, 2 runs on 6 hits. RBI single and a run scored, and now Javier Lopez, the only lefty, loosening in the bullpen. 3rd strikeout for Laffey.
Joe, all sorts of possibilities tomorrow night. We mentioned the fact that Josh Beckett may be available tomorrow night. How about CC Sabathia for Cleveland? Perhaps.
High hop for Casey Blake. And the inning is over. Schilling's got his notebook in his hand. I think he's finished.
Yeah.
8th inning, 10-2. For pregame action during batting practice, Casey Blake faces Javier Lopez and flies to right. 1 pitch, 1 out in the 8th. And it's Javier Lopez with Okajima still getting loose in the bullpen and Mike Timlin joining him. Meanwhile, the closer for the Indians needs some work. Joe Borowski. Meanwhile, Sizemore is only 5 out of 24 in this series. We go inside the numbers. And in his postseason career, Curt Schilling is 4 defensive outs away from a 4-0 record, an ERA of 1.37 in his postseason career in elimination games. 2 out for Cabrera. And Lopez thought better of trying to make the play. He let Pedroia do it, and we go to the bottom of the 8th. Top of the order coming up for the Red Sox, who lead by 8. Closer for the Indians, Joe Borowski gets into the game. Top of the order for Boston, and Pedroia goes after the first pitch. In the air to left center field for Sizemore to his right. 1 out. Let's go down to Ken Rosenthal with Curt Schilling.
Curt, you said yesterday that you were scared to death to fail. What are your emotions after what you did tonight?
I'm feeling good. I mean, you know, we're a couple outs away, and so getting those last couple outs is a big deal. But I mean, that's always been a factor for me in the postseason, the fear of failure, and it motivates me.
3rd inning, the lead was only 4-1. You gave up 2 singles to start the inning. Then you had the top of the order. How did you get through it?
I really stayed. One of the things John has preached to me is to stay pitch to pitch. And in the postseason, in these games, if you can't stay in the moment in the pitch, you get out of yourself and things happen and get away from you. And they had 2 guys on, and I just kept telling myself, just make sure you make this pitch. Just make sure. And I kept doing that. And the next thing you know, we got out of the inning.
The ovation coming off the mound. What did that mean to you?
It's special. This is a special place, and I have so many incredible memories. I thank the Lord for giving me the chance to be in this organization, to play for these people in front of these fans, and you know, those are moments you never ever forget.
Looks like we'll have a Game 7 tomorrow. Dice K on the mound. What do you think about the Red Sox chances?
Well, I mean, you know, we're confident. Game 7, it's a one-game winner-take-all, and in sports, it really is the do-or-die game, and you can't ask for anything more. We're down 3-1. Josh comes back and puts us in position. Our offense comes out tonight and does a phenomenal job, and now we're going to lean on Dice K, and I believe he's going to come through and do something special tomorrow.
We talked about how confident this team was going back to Fenway Park in Boston, and they certainly have shown that tonight.
There is a 1-out walk from Joe Borowski. In the air to left field. How high up the monster? Over halfway. Euclid will hold at third on a double by David Ortiz. Now Manny Ramirez will bat. You remember the grief that Manny Ramirez got. We're going to have Eric Hinsky pinch run. The home run by Ramirez, which made Game 4 a 4-run game. He actually took less time getting around the bases in Game 4 with that home run than Victor Martinez did in his home run in the top of the 2nd inning against Schilling. And that made it a 4-1 game. So something that was talked about with Manny Ramirez, and Victor Martinez broke down his trot in the second, and that was one of 2 runs scoring tonight against Kurt Schilling, and David Ortiz getting congratulations after he gets his first hit of the night. However, his LCS hitting streak is on the line right now. He has tied Pete Rose for the longest streak in LCS history, 15 games hitless tonight, and that streak is going to come to an end. It is a sac fly for an RBI, a hitless night for Ramirez, and it's 11-2 Red Sox here in the 8th. So 15 straight LCS games, Ramirez had a hit. That is over. J.D. Drew would be next. 2 out. Runner at second. Hinsky. And a ground ball up the middle. Base hit. Lowell knocks home a run. Hinsky will score without a play. And it's a 10-run Boston lead at 12-2. Second hit of the night for Mike Lowell. And it gives these fans another chance to cheer J.D. Drew. Now with Borowski having a long inning, Masny has to get loose. So this has gone from a tune-up inning to too long of an inning for Borowski. You wonder if he loses Varitek with Ellsbury coming up, if the Indians and Eric Wedge could go get him. That'll load him up. You can read the lips of Carl Willis. One more hitter, and that's it. And that hitter is Jacoby Ellsbury. A soft liner to short, caught by Peralta, and that is it. 8 batters faced in the 8th inning by Borowski. 9th inning, 12-2 Red Sox. Gagne will take over. Gagne has been used mainly in blowout, lopsided games in the postseason, with one exception, and that was Game 2 of this ALCS. A big addition at the trading deadline for Boston, and to this point it has not worked as planned. 3 players going the other way to Texas, and Hafner still frustrated. He flies to center, and he's hitless tonight. Chevrolet player of the game is J.D. Drew. Stepped up with bases loaded and 2 out, and went deep to center. The grand slam. He added another RBI later in recognition of his outstanding play tonight. Chevrolet will make a $1,000 contribution to Major League Baseball charities. Chevy, an American Revolution. The Red Sox getting production tonight in Game 6 out of one of their big free agent signees, and they ask for the same type of a delivery tomorrow night from another one. Daisuke Matsuzaka. Drew signing a 5-year, $70 million deal. Daisuke, the total price tag $103 million to bring him to the Boston Red Sox. He has not been able to get through 5 innings in his 2 previous postseason starts. Against the Angels and Game 3 against the Indians. 1 ball, 1 strike. So Daisuke gets it tomorrow night, and Jake Westbrook, who was so good in Game 3, went 6 2/3 innings, 2 runs on 7 hits. Strike 2 on Victor Martinez. Makes a young Red Sox fan smile here in the top of the 9th inning of Game 6. a play on one hop. Good play. 2 out. Third baseman Lowell with a barehanded throw. Game 7 tomorrow night.
Joe, the Indians have played 172 games this year. The Red Sox 171. And it boils down to one game tomorrow night.
Final score tonight, 12-2. The Red Sox win it behind Kurt Schilling, who's 2-0 this postseason. Fausto Carmona suffers the loss.